District 4 is really the part of the Upper East Side that people kind of picture. The feeling of the neighborhood, the quality of life, the architectural beauty, the culturally significant buildings. That's everything from the Metropolitan Museum on Fifth Avenue, the kind of typical Gold Coast Fifth Avenue Upper East Side that you think of, and everything from, the tenement buildings that really enrich the character of our neighborhood.
It was a real mom and pop area, a small family-owned bakery or an old-fashioned soda fountain pharmacy. But then there was also that part of our community that was hospital-based. So we had all of the people that worked in the hospitals were in our neighborhood at all times.
Beautiful blocks of row houses, it's world-class institutions, it's a high-class shopping district, but it's also a really diverse neighborhood. We have all different types of retail, all different types of people, all different types of architecture, everything from a tenement building to a white glove doorman building. So there's really a rich variety.
The small stores add the feeling and makes the difference, makes the area happening. It brings tourists, it brings people from all over the place. Usually the smaller store has a real strong point of view like we do here. And we're a benefit for the area and for the people.
More and more we're seeing very creative tactics by developers in order to boost their buildings taller and taller. Some of these include chopping off a piece of the zoning lot in order to evade a certain zoning regulation. Other tactics include unlimited mechanical space in their buildings that doesn't count toward their zoning floor area. We're seeing huge voids in buildings just acting as sort of stilts to boost the height of the buildings up taller and taller. And so I think that we need in our council person somebody who's going to be willing to speak up when those issues arise, and somebody who understands that the character of this neighborhood is largely dependent on the buildings that are here and that we'd like to preserve.
Skyrocketing rents, incredibly high taxes, and especially for all of us retailers, it's the commercial real estate tax, which is a tax on the rent. It's only for the stores from this area, and it's hurting. So you're going to have this emptiness and all these vanishing stores, which really create the ambiance and the feeling in the neighborhoods. It adds the character.
The population has exploded to such a degree that it's overwhelmed the capacity of our community. I'm getting really dismayed about how many of our smaller vendors and our smaller shops are being consumed to build these ridiculous high-rise, condo buildings. But they're not increasing the size of the schools. They're not increasing the actual seats in the schools. Our hospitals are becoming overwhelmed because there's no room for them to expand. And when they do expand, they actually expand in ways that aren't really in the best interest, I don't believe, of the citizens.
We need someone in our city council seat who's going to speak up to the Landmarks Preservation Commission when there's a building that's threatened, when there's a building that needs to be protected and preserved through designation. And we need someone who really gets the preservation issues on the Upper East Side, given that so much of District 4 is protected by historic districts.
I would like to believe that there's a council person out there who can fight for a limit on how tall the buildings can be, or a limit on how many units they can have. More classroom space is what we need, less residential space. Funding for mental health services, not just about my community, not just about the immediate, but for the city at large, because it's gotten to be a humanitarian disaster.
It is like a penalty tax, which doesn't feel right. Without a doubt, without the strength of the city council and pushing these issues, things are going to change. So we need government to get behind and really make this attempt to help us all out.